imagine having your children in the backseat of a car, like Dane, and imagine him just going really silent for 30 seconds, and you're like, huh, wonder if I should be concerned. I know that means trouble. In this scenario, Doug is my Dane. Okay.
Well, you know, Doug's really good at one thing. Right?
What's that?
Golf. I mean,
listen,
I'm just, what I mean by that is Dougie's probably not, and it's Dougie to me. Dougie's not, he's not going to be your technically savvy guy.
And that's you're totally wrong. You're totally wrong. I'm extremely tech savvy. I'm on computers all the time. We both had stuff to learn. We didn't realize how important the do not disturb was.
Who's we? You got a mouse in your pocket?
You and me. That's who we is.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are off to a fantastic start to Casey on Tap. This is a big day. Many of you have clamored. Many of you have asked. I'm a man of the people. What I do is I provide truth, light, reason, hope, faith, apple pie, Dallas Cowboys, all those things. You have asked for the immovable object and the irresistible force to be together. You have asked for another solar eclipse, not 200 years from now. Now. And here it is, in the form of the host of the Keri Croft Show, my beautiful sister, patriarch of #PervNation, which is erroneous on all levels. She's here to plead her case, along with my very dear lifelong friend, like Keri said, not Doug. He is Dougie. Well, to you, he's Doug. To us, he's Dougie. Doug Wade, I know you've been looking forward to this for a long time. Keri, welcome back to the Casey on Tap platform. How the hell are you? You look great. I love the outfit, by the way. Look at you and Dougie matching.
It's good to be here. What can I say? I thought I'd, rock my Lima Masters t-shirt in solidarity. Always repping.
Does it show who the champions are on that shirt? I can't remember.
It does not. But I knew it was it was in the bag for you guys. But I didn't realize Josh Illig was going to come out the way he did and just kind of, round out the team. I heard he was an MVP.
Doug lives an unfair life when it comes to like an amateur scramble. I mean, he's expected to be, this. Everyone's talking about Doug. Doug was amazing. Doug is an amazing golfer. Josh Illig, without a shadow of a doubt, brought his A+ game. Joe Caprella and I.
You stop there and just take the road.
No, I'm trying to be fair to the people. They demand it.
Yeah,
no, it was bad. It was bad. No, it was bad. I brought like my C game. It wasn't good, but Doug, is it fair to say that if we would have found out afterwards that Joe was a saboteur, like he was hired by another team to be a saboteur, would it be fair to say that we would have been like, yeah, well, that makes total sense?
Yeah, it would have made too much sense. Absolutely. Yeah. And that may have happened.
Keri, we don't know. That may have happened. We'll have to investigate. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to say hello to our new listeners, as always. This week, coming in from Fort Walton Beach, Florida, from not Paul Revere, just Revere, Massachusetts, Newark, New Jersey, and Frankfurt, Germany. Hello, Germany.
You're going worldwide, baby.
We're worldwide. We've got 2 in Germany, 1 in Amsterdam. Now we have 51 cities. Ladies and gentlemen, the Casey on Tap platform with Dougie, Wade, and Casey. Now we're growing like a weed. We suck and we know it, but we're trying to get better. We grow like a fungus. It's like athlete's foot. Just one day you wake up, you're like, where the hell did that all come from? So thank you for that. And we continue to appreciate your support, which leads us to our fan feedback. We got some good fan feedback today. Let's start with Matt from Virginia. And by Virginia, we mean North Carolina. He's a pilot for a major airline company, primarily focusing on international flights. Dude, you and Dougie, Keri, ironically, you brought that in. He says Dougie. He's from the 419. You and Dougie are killing it. Keep up the good work. And he wants to chime in on a very important, serious subject, the Mile High Club. Because, Keri, we talk about very serious things.
Oh, I know.
Here's what he says. Okay, on the Mile High Club, I see this at work more often than you think. Ooh, how about that? we'll be ripping across the Atlantic in the middle of the night. And I've seen couples go into laboratories together or have flight attendants call us up to the flight deck to tell us that they've seen the same. Some people get pissed. Most pay it no mind. I've scoured company manuals to see if the practice is forbidden. I've found nothing. However, if you want to take your significant other to Pound Town in a disgusting airplane shitter, well, have at it. I highly doubt you'll be stopped. That is a airline pilot telling us about the Mile High Club. Keri, what are your thoughts on the Mile High Club? We had a mailbag about it last week.
No, I heard. I listened. I'm a loyal listener.
Are you a member? You're my sister. This is disgusting, but I have to do it.
I am not.
Good. God, thank God.
Listen,
thank God.
I'm going to start this by disclaiming I don't care what anybody does. I think it's great. Whatever you want to do. If that's your thing. I mean, if you've got a private jet and you've got champagne and like somebody's rubbing your toes up there, I mean, that's one angle. But I'm not interested in going into like a little, tiny little box and thinking, I hope the plane doesn't go down and this really stinks in here. And let's bet plus I'm really long and it I'd probably cramp up. It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good.
That ain't right.
That's just me though. Do you, baby, do you?
No, Doug, you have any thoughts on that? On what you just said?
No, I mean, Matt mentioned the overnight flights across the Atlantic. That would be much more opportune situation than I think what we were talking about last week. Your 3-hour flights from Columbus to Orlando, it's probably not happening, is my guess. I sure hope not. I'm out.
Right. I'm out. Okay. So there you go. Matt, thank you. Thank you very much for that. All right. Oh, sorry. He finishes with, after writing all of this, I realized that it puts the ball right in your sister's court with the whole Perv Nation argument. Keri 1, Casey Dougie 0.
Well, once a perv, always a perv.
Okay. We'll get to that. Matt in Ohio.
Dougie, are you listening to the Keri Croft show? If I saw your phone, would the Keri Croft show be popping up anywhere?
I am a subscriber to the Keri Croft podcast, yes.
All right, just making sure, because I heard you're drinking some haterade out there.
You know better than that. Are you kidding me? Listen,
do tell.
That's clearly
not haterade, but my VP of hype. My VP of hype has been reporting back to me that you got 1 foot in the train and you got 1 foot dragging down on the gravel.
Your VP of hype is very sensitive. God love him, and he's doing the things for the right reasons. But it's fun to tease him, and
oh my God, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy when he hears this, but it's the truth, and he knows it, and it's all good. We love him for it. We all embrace it at this point.
They're referring to Dominic.
Yeah.
He's an early adopter. He sniffs out, talent when he sees it, Doug, and that's just what it is.
No question. No, I mean, we were at a concert a while back, and my boy has got a cardboard sign that's a poster, Keri Croft show, and in the middle of the concert, he's holding this thing up like this. He's holding it up like Casey would his cardboard check he won last week at the Lyman Masters. Dom's holding it up. And it's classic. I mean, that is the VP of hype if I've ever seen it right there.
I love it. I love him, and I just think it's so great. It's so great. He's got a front row seat to whatever goes on. So, whatever that is.
Dominic, we love you, and you are going to be one of the. You're up for consideration. Let's be honest. There's a lot of people now that want to be part of the original, the OG Knights of the 419 Roundtable that we are cultivating. But I feel like Dominic's got a pretty good. I feel like Dominic's going to be there. What do you think, Doug? There's really nothing that he is a heart of no. Keri, you don't have I'm sorry, Keri. Perv Nation only here can vote on the Knights of the 419 Roundtable.
But I'm adjacent to Perv Nation. I'm adjacent.
Well, first of all, I don't know what you two are. I'm nothing but a divine, pure soul that cleanses. Okay.
I don't even know what I am. I just happened to get asked to be on the show, and I just sit here and take questions. I have nothing to do with Perv Nation. I have no affiliation. I'm not even sure what it stands for.
You're guilty by association, Doug.
Exactly. That's
let my journalist come out for a second and just ask that direct question. I'm glad you brought that up, Doug. This was early on, maybe episode 1 or 2, and Keri just without any reservation or pause, very confidently said, you guys are a bunch of perverts, you and Doug Wade and others. She actually said your name. Keri, would you like, because Doug has since then, it has really gotten to him. He's like, I demand specifics. I demand an explanation.
All right. And if I were Dougie, I would as well. And Dougie, no, you are not someone. The only reason why I would put you in the perv bucket is just by sheer, you're around Casey and me. Like when I mentally think of Casey and his friends, you're not in the perv category. It's more of a Ryan Seitz. Like those guys are different. You're more of the classy edge that just, it's guilt by association. So I would like to hereby, make Doug Wade kind of a less pervy part of
You retract your original statement. Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's not what you just said there. She made you a little less pervy.
If there's a perv meter, you're way low on the perv meter. I think anyone who's around Casey, you definitely have to be attracted to some kind of
this is
situation. So I mean, you're in there somewhere.
I can accept that. I'm fine with that. That's
So
what should be. Makes a lot of sense.
I'm not sure if I'm fine with it. I mean, I was asking the question. I kind of felt like that. I kind of felt like that light kind of just turned to me.
Well,
I'm okay. Fair enough. Speaking of Ryan, I think you mentioned Orion.
I did. I have a cloth here I'm holding up. Pretend.
Here we go.
And I'm cutting it. So you and him are both from this same cloth. You and
nice.
Ryan.
Brian G wants to chime in on Chipotle. Absolutely different from store to store. So he sides with you, Douglas. It's the human element of the system. If you order in person, and if you're hungry, you can request additional ingredients if you'd like. That is astounding. Dickie McGee's was the same way. You mentioned McDonald's being the same every time. Have you never gotten 4 pickles rather than 3 on your Big Mac? Thanks, Brian G. First of all, Dickie McGee's is a saint. And maybe Dickie McGee's would be open if the portion control is better. Hey-oh! Or if my marriage control is better. Any one of the two. Keri, where do you chime in on this now nationwide debate over whether Chipotle needs to control their portions, or if, like Brian G and Doug, let's just let it go with the flow?
I don't eat this garbage. This temple does not. This temple does not eat McDonald's or Chipotle. No. I don't eat it.
Stop. Don't put Chipotle in with McDonald's. That is too clearly.
I know. I don't. But different. I don't love Chipotle. I don't. I'll be honest with you. I love Mexican food.
It's fresh.
I don't agree. I did try to give Chipotle, and yes, is it better? Would I go to Chipotle over McDonald's? Yes. The last couple times I tried Chipotle, it didn't seem all that fresh to me. It just wasn't it.
You don't eat fresh grilled chicken and
fresh,
so fresh. Vegetables.
No, I can hear the sizzle right now.
No shade. I just don't love Chipotle. It's just not my favorite.
Okay, but don't say that stuff. It's one thing to not like the restaurant, but don't say that stuff. Don't act like you don't eat chicken breasts and vegetables and delicious rice and cheese occasionally.
Touche, Dougie.
Come on. Chipotle's fantastic.
Spank me, Dougie. I like it. Spank me.
Again? Oh my God. Let's go.
Did you say again? Okay.
You caught that.
I catch everything. Speaking of catching things, the first thing Keri said there was, I'm not throwing shade at Chipotle. Doug, I think you and I both.
That was shade.
I think it was shade. Exactly.
Clear
she
shade.
threw shade and then said, I don't throw shade. See, that's why people need this. They need truth.
Yeah. I mean, come on, Keri.
You did throw shade. I just had a bowl.
You're right, guys.
I just had a bowl, and I thought about you, Doug, a couple nights ago. I went and got a bowl, and I was hungry. And I got to tell you, I was watching them put that bowl together. I thought, that's going to be 6 pounds of food, and that's okay. I took that. I had to have someone help me carry it out. It took me 2 days to eat it, but I got to tell you, it was something. It was something. I agree. God bless the employees at Chipotle that just say, let's fill her up for you.
I'm going to throw a little addition in here for those that are
please do
maybe not as experienced with Chipotle. This is just in the last 6 to 8 months since I've become a professional Chipotle eater. You cannot. You can, but you should not eat Chipotle, the bowl, without the Chipotle chips. The chips, you dip it into the bowl. I mean, it's incredible.
I get the tortilla on the side, and then like the burrito tortilla. I don't know if you ever done that. So I don't
No.
get a burrito, get a bowl. They steam that. They steam it. They roll it up in that foil. See, they steam it and then they roll it up in that foil. It's like a big joint.
Yeah.
Not that I know what a joint was.
At a restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah, you come home. It's soft and warm. It's like welcoming. You take it and you tear it off into these little like. And hey, I take it with my hand. So the tortilla's here in here, like a little piece. I go like this. And squeeze ingredients. We have Chipotle and Pornhub coming as sponsors soon.
All
right.
I think you should put Lion's Den on your top hitters too.
What's Lion's Den?
Lion's Den? It's a sex toy shop, Dougie.
Oh, hell yes.
Keri knew that right away. I did not know that.
Wow.
Dougie, once again, you are just a squeaky clean class act over there, aren't you? Maybe you do need a little, just go off the any given freeway. You'll see a Lion's Den sitting right there.
There's a lot of them.
All right.
This has been fun so far. Got to move on here. Matt from Ohio. Quote, love what you're doing, you and Doug with the pod, helping me take the first step in getting a few things sorted out in my life. So thank you, Matt. Casey, it's incredible what you have overcome with alcohol and the way you inspire people and you entertain with your authentic, genuine self. Pulling interesting details out of ordinary people, however, Keri has you beat on that one. Love, Dom.
Shocking message.
Hashtag suds it up. Hashtag credit card cuckold. Dominic wants suds it up. Merch, coffee mugs, and hashtag. Listen, the credit card story was funny. The guy remember his card declined a couple times, and the girl goes, "I got this," and we determined it was a credit card cuckold. Keri. So anyway, Keri, there you go. You can pull interesting details out of ordinary people, while Doug and I just schlep it up over here on Per Mile.
Firm Island. That's actually you. That right there. There's potential with that.
Mm-hmm.
Keri, how many episodes are you up to now on your show?
I think I've got like 100. So I'm ending season 2 this Friday with a plastic surgeon here. He's like the end of season 2, and then
how do you determine what the end of a season is?
Once I feel like you can't, like, I've got 50 episodes in season 2, so it's like I need to, and it's the end of summer, so I'd like to take a minute and just do some other things with social media for the show and kind of like work on sponsorships and everything, and I have to worry about dropping for like a month, and then people will be ready for it again. So like September 5th, I've got Mark Ritz, who's fucking so interesting. So he owns Carnivore Snacks. And Carnivore Snacks, you should look it up. He ends up getting Joe Rogan interested in a snack, and then and sent Joe Rogan some snacks. And now Joe Rogan is a minority investor in Carnivore Snacks, and they're out here in Powell. And it's interesting. Like, you've never really tasted anything like it. It's like in the jerky category, but it's not. He calls it a meat pastry. And then they had that whole government shutdown, which is a crazy story. And the way the government treated them, it's just wild. You have to listen to it. But he handled it like
the shutdown during COVID, you mean?
No, so basically, like, they got big enough to where they were on the government's radar, and the government was saying the way that they were producing the jerky was not FDA approved or whatever. And so they had to go through the whole big thing, big scientific study. And the government was like, we're coming in next week. We're going to open up all the meat sacks, and you're going to put them in trash cans, put bleach all over them, and we're destroying all your inventory. And Mark's like, this is like a lot of money you're saying you're going to destroy. Like, so anyway, they worked with the government and ended up getting back up and running. And they like went from like, I think $1 million to $3 million to like 12 million in revenue last year. Like, he's a sharp, good old boy, like just real humble, but so engaging.
How do I get someone to open my meat sack?
Well, I think you've had plenty of hoes opening that meat sack. I got Bobby Carpenter coming on.
Meat sack.
Which
says meat sack.
See, Doug, how you're trying to like have a normal conversation and it goes right into Perv Nation, Perv Island.
You said the word meat sack. I mean, who the hell's going to listen to that and not go, who says like meat sack? It just takes you into a.
Doug, did you think that, Doug? Doug, did you
Douglas?
think that?
Meat sack caught me off guard. I paused.
Give me a Dan.
It gives you pause. All right, so Bobby Carpenter.
I got Bobby Carpenter coming on. I've got a couple other really cool like entrepreneur type people. I'm always looking for musicians. It'll be good. So season 3 starts the first week in September.
All right. Well, Doug and I are on season 12, and we've only had 10 episodes, so that's how we do it.
Doug, are you enjoying this, Dougie?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we're learning as we go here, but we're changing lives one show at a time.
I do think Perv Island has the potential to be like its own reality show for sure.
Well, I don't know. I do too, except I wouldn't know. I'd have a hard time with the material because I don't know anything about what that would entail. So, all right. I don't have any idea of what pervy things are. Speaking of pervy things, what do you think? What do you say we enter this week's fan favorite? It's for you. It's for me. It's the one and only mailbag. What do you think, guys? You ready? Sponsored by, yeah, that's right. We have sponsors here on Perv Island. Chad Verhoff, owner and master jeweler of Jackson Gray Jewelers in Chagrin Falls, Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, and he wants to be one of the knights of the 419 Roundtable as well. This is a very interesting man. He's an archer and he's a master jeweler. And if you have any specific thing in mind, something very special, weddings, anniversaries, funerals, you name it, Chad Verhoff is your man. Also, 310 Labs, an indie gaming company made of 2 software engineers passionate about Playmates. By Playmates, I mean you, me, and everybody in the world. Download YASS, Yet Another Spider Solitaire, and play Deal of the Day today. Those are your sponsors for this week's mailbag, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. Jamin J. Taylor, 92 Zoo. Get your votes in now for the top 10 at 10. Caller number 9 gets a Arby's gift card, $5.33. Question number 1, Scott from Kansas. Welcome, Scott. 28 years old. His fiance is 27. We've been together 5 years, engaged for 2. Started going to couples therapy, a year ago. Recently, my fiance admitted in session that she thinks I cry too much and that it, quote, grosses her out, unquote. Now I'm grossed out by her thinking that about me, and I want to leave. Please help. P.S. I've cried twice, both over family losses. As we start, to Keri we go.
I mean, there's a lot to unpack there, isn't there?
Nothing pervy.
No,
nice, easy softball.
The first thing you could think is like you're already in counseling, you're not even married yet, but then I'm a proponent of that. I think it's, the more you communicate up front, that could also be positive. So like move past that. Then you've got the whole crying thing. Like, yeah, like sometimes you want your man to be like stoic and strong. And if he's a big pussy and he's just crying all the time, you're like, well, what the hell? Like, but if he's only cried twice and it was family losses, then maybe she's some kind of weird whack job. But then he wants to live over that. Like, there's gonna be a lot harder things you deal with in your marriage than that. So like, there's just a lot of flimsy, like, weird situations happening there. He has to reevaluate, does he really like this woman that much? Because if you're going to leave over something like that, that's like an argument. That's not like okay, I'm leaving. So like, let's say something really happens in your relationship, like you're doomed. Like if you're already trying to leave over something so, the big scheme of things, that's not a huge thing.
Okay. Douglas?
Yeah, she mentioned on all the fronts here of what's going on. First of all, the word disgusted is a strong word. She says she was disgusted from him crying, and then he is disgusted that she was disgusted. Those are strong words. This thing's going nowhere. Look, if he wants out, he wants out. Get out. he should get out. He's having doubts.
I like that, Doug.
He's disgusted. I mean, let's go. He just wants confirmation. I'm giving you confirmation. What's his name?
Scott.
It was Scott from Kansas. Yep.
You've got confirmation, man. Let's go. Get out. You're disgusted. She's disgusted. You're disgusted. You've been together 5
Now
years.
we're disgusted.
And the hard part about this is when he does break up with her, he's going to cry again over it. And so we're back in this circle. It's just never ending, you know?
Oh, man, right. I think that was, I think you guys are spot on. I'll just put a little cherry on top. And the one thing that, like Keri said, there's a lot there to unpack. I'm a huge believer in therapy, cathartic, talking out loud. Got that. No problem. I did, when I heard been engaged for 2 years, I had a little twitch. I mean, usually when young couples get engaged, they plan the wedding and it happens within a year or so. Is that fair? That's the one thing that strikes me. I tell people, if you're engaged, with, you know, there's always exceptions, but if you're engaged for that long, that tells me that there's postponement or delay for some reason. And like Keri said, I mean, look, marriage is going to be challenging enough if you're already having those types of postponements and delays and reservations. I think a good idea would be to step back, give it a good cry, make sure she's disgusted to the point that she never wants to see you again. Get with your boys, come to Perv Island, and we'll fix you up. We'll get you back. Good job, guys. Okay. So there, Doug, as usual, we're 1 for 1. Doug's got a question for you.
Yeah.
We noticed when you got up, there's a cool sign back there that says fuck back there. What is that all about?
Well, Dougie, it's one of my favorite words in the English language. So I figure why not, right? And then I got Tupac flipping off the world. I got, I got some cool shit up there.
Keri, did you say the fuck's your favorite word in the English language?
Is it not like right below a drawing that Dane did? Like, what's going on there? Does he come in and just say?
That's my dad. That's a caricature of my dad.
No. He's talking about that thing underneath taped on the wall. It looks like a note from.
Oh yeah. That's from Dane.
So Dane,
yeah,
look,
that's what
Dane comes in. Mommy, look, my picture. Fuck.
It's all about balance. Now that you mentioned that,
yeah,
I may have to take that down because when he figures out what that is.
Hence the question to begin with. Yeah.
Well, and okay, let's remember Dane's rarely in this room. This is my office. It's like tucked away. It's not like Dane's like hanging out like a living room. Although Doug
and I's experience is that he's in that room often. We've been in that room as often as Dane has. We don't know any better.
I have a set of titties in my living room. I should probably take
Keri.
that. What?
Let's wander over. What are you talking about? What?
Doug said wander over. All right, we have 2 more questions that we'll get you out of here, Keri. Amy from Ohio. These next 2 are, pretty good. Amy from Ohio, 25 years old, have been having an affair with a married man for almost 2 years. Found out recently that he has another long-term affair partner. And I was under the assumption he wanted to be with me. I'm pissed and am considering telling his wife and kids. Should I? ? That's from Amy in Ohio. You know, when we were at the Lima Masters, Doug, you saw it. You know, some of the guys were like, "Oh, are these questions real?" I'm telling you that I changed the names and kind of tweak it, but it's very real. What do you think, guys?
Well, I think Amy's clearly toxic, and so when you go into a situation where you're having an affair with an otherwise committed person, you already know.
He's 23 at the time. Why can't he be the time? He seduces her.
No, they're both. I'm not saying it's a toxic situation. Like, I'm not trying to parse out the toxicity. I'm not. Clearly, like, don't even get me started on the guy. But the point is, so now you're going to go and you're going to blow up his world and his kid. Like, the kid thing is like, that's a non-starter for me. And
right.
So anytime you
let me clarify. I think she was just making sure she wanted to say that he had kids. She wasn't going to tell his kids, but a married man with kids. Sorry.
Well, listen, do what you want to do, but like, just stay. Don't date a married man. Like, I don't like. What are you expecting the outcome of that to be? Like, you think that's gonna, like, he only wants to be with you? Yep, that's what it is. He only wants to be with you.
I wouldn't say there's much I wouldn't say there's much dating going on.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
you better, Amy.
What do you think, Douglas?
Well, I mean,
okay. So at the bottom line, I think the answer that she wants, the question is whether or not she should. Go ahead, Doug. But ultimately, it's a yes or no if she should.
well, Keri, it sounds like said no.
Right. So, Keri, you're saying no.
It's easy at this point to say that she should have never been in the relationship. She's 2 years into the relationship. So now let's deal with what we're at now. She's upset that there's a third girl involved that's filling her role, taking her role in this. And she thought that this guy is eventually going to get out. Number one, he wasn't going to get out. It's been 2 years. If he's going to get out, he got out. Number two, he's now onto a third wheel, which clearly is going to be adding more stress and juggling to his life, and he's willing to do it. So you are now down the totem pole, young lady. You're probably number 3, hence you being pissed, and you know this. All you can do now
The
is
kickstand.
Yeah, you just create volcanoes or you leave. I mean, what why you're guilty as well as he is. So you can go and tell his family. It's not going to make you feel any better. You're going to have to deal with repercussions. Just step aside. You're done. You lost this one. You're out. You're out. Just move on.
I want to say this. I want to say, yo, to the guy. I'm not applauding what he's doing. Listen. I've been there, done that. Okay, I've done it. I've done it all. Here's what I know: that time and effort and energy that you've got to put in to have two side pieces, not just side pieces, but to have them clearly emotionally. I don't know who this guy is, but man, he's got some bandwidth. Holy cow. I mean, it just made my penis tired just reading that question. Jeez. However, here's what I'm going to tell you. It never ends well, young lady. I would highly recommend you're not the one to you need to focus on your life. Okay. It's not a good situation you're in. I know you feel you're 25 years old. You're not, that's not love you feel. Okay. It's his penis and it's his seductive words that he's telling you out behind the alley. It's lust that you're feeling. It's not love. And what he's, shame on him for doing this. It's not love. And I got to tell you, all you can focus on is you. And all three of us are unanimous. And the best thing to do, you don't have to hurt other people. Life will take care of that. My grandpa used to say, no one ever in his whole life, he's never known anybody to get away with anything. That's what he'd say. No one's ever gotten away with anything. It all comes out in the wash. So, sorry about that. This stinks. You're probably upset about it. But if you have any videos or anything, on a side note, I don't know. We got a website coming out. In case you go ahead and send it to Doug and I. We'll give it we'll critique. I don't know if that helps. Onward. Final question of the day. 32. This was a good one. 32-year-old female from New Jersey. Sarah. Help. Now, I used to be a pharmaceutical rep. In case you want to know where I used to go to New Jersey. So I've got some network over there. So we've got Sarah from New Jersey. Help. I messed up bad and I'm panicking. Getting married in 6 months. So far, so good. But recently cheated for the first time in my life. That's not good. With his good friend. Oh, no.
Ooh.
We were out socially, ran into him at a bar, had a few drinks, talking about the upcoming wedding, then had sex with him in the bathroom of the bar. Twice. I'm panicking. Should I tell my fiance, bury it, I need help, or bury it, I need help? Look at all three of us. All three of us went, oh.
Twice. Why'd she throw the twice in there? Like, was it consecutive?
Meaning went back in.
Yeah, they went back in later?
Yes, that's what you
God. Oh, my God.
Not like a, no. Later. Like, oh, I feel so bad. Let me do it again. Keri, well, go ahead and lead off as our guest of honor.
I mean, that's going to be like the lead weight around the whole situation, like from the jump.
Mm.
You would hope that his friend would somehow confess to it or something. You just can't. I mean, that's not. I feel like you got to start over. You can't hang on to that.
6 months.
What's that going to do? And then
the wedding's being planned. 6 big wedding.
Then when it does finally come out, he has to look back at all the memories and everything, and like all of that's tainted. You have an opportunity here to like stop.
Tainted Love, that song, that old 80s song, Tainted Love, that Depeche Mode, Tainted Love.
Yeah, you done fucked it up.
Douglas?
So
yeah, obviously panic sets in, and your first inclination is to hide it. You make sure that the guy's not going to say anything, and he probably wouldn't, but you're constantly going to be thinking about it. It's constantly going to be weighing on you. And ultimately, if it does come out, man, I mean, that's, listen, this is tough. She's going to pick this tough situation. I mean, just to get the guts to sit him down and tell him this alone, we can sit here and say you should do that, but man, that's going to be hard. That's going to be really, really hard. But if you go the other route, you're just getting deeper and deeper and deeper. I mean, you got to somehow rip it off. I mean, you know what I do?
Idea.
Here's what I do. I got the idea. Write a note. First of all, before you give it to him, you call we call 2 men and a boys, right? Maybe you can get a gift card from a friend, like we discussed earlier. Get a gift card. Pack all your stuff into the moving truck. Fill it up all the way to full. Leave the note on the kitchen counter and just start driving. Just start driving. And do not stop until you hit it. Hopefully go west, because if you're in New Jersey, the ocean's up far. Go west and just keep driving, because you're done. This is so bad. This is so bad. I mean, it's just cheating so bad.
Doug, remember we were talking about having an all-star live podcast, all-star gala with remember we were going to have like couples, we we're going to have them do it. What about, can we get her to do that live from our all-star mailbag gala? Yeah. She can do it live while
she
we
needs
watch.
to wear like a GoPro while she's packing and stuff, and we can watch her leave the note on the table.
Oh my God,
that's bad. That's tough.
I argue she doesn't want to marry that guy anyway, because that's such a sabotaging move. I mean, that's
absolutely. And they go into the second time. No, you're right. Especially if you turn around and do it a second time the same night. Like,
all right. Allow me, as per usual, I'll follow my sword. I'll be the voice of reason here, because we're all human. The reason why people do this, the affair sex, the getting railed in the bathroom, is because it's fucking amazingly taboo and hot and fun, and it's everything the human, the flesh, that's everything we desire. That's why. Something tells me, had you not been drinking, that probably wouldn't have happened. Why? Because your frontal cortex was gone, your decision making, your moral compass, it was all asleep. I want to tell you that he's not that dude's friend. When you say good friend, let's just get that word out of your mouth. That's not a friend. Okay, that's not what friends do. He's not a friend of this guy, and he's not going to tell him. Of course not. Come on. As far as you're concerned, like Keri and Doug just said, you're going to be sitting on a time bomb the rest of your life. Yeah, it's not good. Okay, my final verdict is you got to tell him. That's my verdict, because it's the right thing to do, and he'll know that other person wasn't a friend. Or what about a threesome on your honeymoon night? We could turn this thing into a positive real quick. Not a cuckold or a pegging. You got to go. You see, I've saved it. I saved it for everybody. I just took this right back to where it needs to be. What if we turn this into hey, let's reenact it together, all three of us. I'll be the cream, you two be the Oreo cookies. I'll be the ham, you be the sandwich. Okay, there you go, Sarah. Ladies and gentlemen, and with that, Keri Croft, host of the Keri Croft Show. Do you have any wisdom, any parting wisdom for the people, for the masses? I have a feeling this has been a lot of fun. I have a feeling that our fans are going to really enjoy this. They've been wanting this to happen.
Yeah, no, just if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. If you haven't listened, please listen, rate, review. Season 3 is out the first week in September. Lots of great guests coming up. So, that's it.
Anything before you go for Doug? Because Doug will have the opportunity as well.
Well, no, just like it's good to see your face, Dougie. And I just, I used to teach you math and science. I think you'd probably be you'd be nowhere if not for when I used to teach you school. Remember that back in the day when you were about 7? And I'd sit you in the desk and I'd teach you.
Keri taught math. Keri taught you math. So you're not good at math and science right now, then. Keri taught you math.
Hey, I got it done.
Keri, you and I were at 05 slow, baby. You and I were at Ohio State 05 slow.
That's right.
Keri and I tested in to the 050, the lowest math. They're like, okay, this is arithmetic.
Well,
1 + 1. Go ahead, Doug.
Well, no, I mean Keri's right. We did have school classes, math and science and stuff up there. She might be a little foggy on who was teaching who and stuff, that way. But regardless, so there were classes being had up there. Yeah. So I mean,
we go back. We go way back, yeah. Dougie.
Doug, back. Do you feel better now that you've had your face to face with this beautiful?
Yeah, and like I've been saying for months, I would be redeemed, and I was, and it's yes, that makes me feel better about that situation. But it's always great to be on with Keri and to see Keri and known her forever, and yeah, it's looking forward to doing this more often.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've had as much fun as we have today. For Keri Croft, for Dougie William Wade, my name is Casey, and thanks for joining Casey on Tap, where anything goes. See you next week.
Bye.